Hello, this is Rebel Panda here, and I'm bringing you another video, this time to explain to you how damage works in Z Fighters. So the damage of a basic attack is calculated putting the attacking hero's attack stats against the attacked hero defense stats. So it's a simple calculation of attack minus defense with a little dust subtractor added here and there, because it's never exactly the right amount. In this case, my Gohan has about 3100 attack, and his Gohan has around 2700 defense, which, if you do the math, rounds about to 532 damage, and it deals 511, which is pretty close. And then this one, which was Trunks Super Saiyan attacking my Goku Super Saiyan 3, and again, if you do the math, he has 3700 attack, I have 2400 defense, and it should deal 1268 damage. So it dealt 1265, so 3 away, so it's pretty close again. So that's a pretty basic formula. Attack minus defense, you might have already known that, so let's go on to more difficult ones, and the one that you may not know, which is the team attack. But let's start with a simple special attack for 1v1, and let's see how it's calculated. In this example, I had my Majin Vegeta put against an Oob, and he procced his Spirit Sword, which is level 6, which makes his MI, which some call move intensity, some call might, whatever, I'm gonna call it move intensity, is 166. So what does that mean? Well, it basically means that you take your SPI, which in my case is 2600, and you multiply it by your move intensity, and then divided by 100, so that will make like a percentage. So in this case, 166 move intensity would make it 1.66 move intensity that you had to multiply by your SPI. Let's, for example, if you had 100 of move intensity, it would deal the full SPI damage. If you had 200 move intensity, it would deal double SPI damage. But that's not all, because you have to look at 4 stats here. One of them, well, 2 of them, it's the move intensity and the SPI of your character. You multiply it one by another and divide it by 100, or as I stated, divide the 166 by 100 to make the percentage. Then you add your attack. So it's your attack plus the result of that equation, which is SPI times move intensity divided by 100, and that gives you your attack damage. But then you have to take into account the defense of your opponent, which in this case is 1700. So then you would just treat it as a regular attack. You would take the attack damage you're supposed to deal and subtract it with your opponent's defense, which in this particular case should round to 6100 damage, but as you see, I'm doing 5800 damage, so that's 300 away. It's not that big a difference, since the numbers are high. In this case, it's like 5% of the damage. It didn't deal 5% of the damage, something like that. So it's not that much, but I don't know. I wish I had the exact formula, but I'm beginning to think that these damages that we see that are beyond the formula, that sometimes you do more damage, sometimes you do less damage than we're expecting. I think it has to do with maybe resistances, or I don't know, they just add random damage. I don't know the exact formula. If you do, please leave a comment and explain this to me, because I really like to know. And okay, so next we have team attacks. So team special attacks are not very different from the special attacks themselves. The formula is pretty much the same with a small difference. So in this example, you can see my Vegeta attacking the whole team with his final flash, and what you have to take into account is in what square is the enemy. For example, Broly is straight ahead of my Vegeta, is in the same position, is a third position. Like my Vegeta is in third position in my team, his Broly is in the third position as well. So the formula for Broly is going to be of a single attack. It's going to be the exact same formula. 100% damage on him, my attack plus my SPI times the percentage of my move intensity minus his defense. So it takes 1500 damage. Okay, now we have to see how many squares away are the other enemies. So to get to Trunks, I'll have to move one square to the left. So what that means is that Trunks is only gonna get 65% of my damage instead of the 100 that I deal to Broly. The same happens with Kid Trunks and Goku Super Saiyan. Why? Because they're one square away from Broly. You can go up and to the left or to the right. So that's one square. Then you have Vegeta Super Saiyan, Majin Vegeta, and Gohan Super Saiyan, which are 2 squares away. If you want to go to Gohan, you have to go through Trunks and then Gohan, so 2 squares. Majin Vegeta, same thing. Gohan, left up or right up to Vegeta Super Saiyan, so 2 squares away. What this means is that instead of dealing 65% of the damage, you're gonna deal 65 to the power of 2, which is 42. So instead of 65% of the damage, you're gonna deal 42% of the damage. And then you have Oob, which is 3 squares away. So 3 squares away, 65 to the power of 3 squares, which is 27. So the least amount of damage you deal here is 27% of your damage. So if your damage was 1000, Oob would take 270 damage. But then also you have to take into account his defense. So if he had less than 270 defense, he would take damage. But of course he doesn't have. He has, I think he had 1700 defense. So that's why he takes 1 damage, because that's the minimum amount of damage that you can deal with any kind of attack. I don't know if it's because they round something up, but I always see them dealing at least 1 damage to these heroes. This happens, of course, when you deal less damage than their defense. So Gohan also doesn't take damage because he has a lot of defense, and 42% of the damage is not enough for him. Then you have the critical damage, which is simply the damage you were supposed to deal times 2. It just doubles the damage whatever it was. Defense has an impact, attack has an impact, if it's the special attack, SPI has an impact. You just do any of the other formulas I gave you and you reach a number. That's the damage you're gonna deal, multiplied by 2, and that's the damage that the crit damage does. And then to round it all up, you have the mighty 3rd round, which is all about HP and SPI. So what this means is that you may have a lot of attack, but it won't come into play in here. In here, it only counts the amount of SPI. That's gonna be your attack. So if you have more SPI than your enemy, then you just gotta hope you have more HP. So simply putting, you just pick your HP and you subtract it by his SPI, and he takes his HP and it subtracts by your SPI. The highest number wins. That whole thing where first one hero dies, then the other, that's just for show. But it's like they do like an average or a percentage. If you were supposed to deal like 66% of the damage and you have 3 heroes, it kills 2 of your heroes and only the last one survives. Something like that is just nice to have. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like and a comment and subscribe to my channel to stay updated on my latest videos. Goodbye, and I'll see you guys in the next one.